step into the opulent world of 18th century Hyderabad, a city shimmering with jewels and buzzing with political intrigue. It's a place where empires collide, and at the heart of our story is a love so profound, it dared to defy them all. This is the tale of James Achilles Kirkpatrick, the British resident, and Khair-un-Nissa Begum, a noblewoman of Hyderabad. Their secret wedding wasn't just a union of two souls. It was a clandestine fusion of two worlds, a story of forbidden love that would echo through history. So, who was James Kirkpatrick? He wasn't your typical British officer. Arriving in India, he was utterly captivated by its culture. He adopted local customs, spoke fluent Persian and Hindustani, and was known more for his appreciation of Mughal traditions than for his loyalty to the East India Company. He was a man caught between two identities, a Briton with the heart of a Hyderabadi. And then he saw her. Khair-un-Nissa, the most excellent among women, was the granddaughter of the Nizam's prime minister. She was young, intelligent, and belonged to the highest echelons of Hyderabadi aristocracy. Locked away in the Zanana, the women's quarters, she was meant to be a mystery. But love, as it often does, found a way. Their first glances were exchanged through screens and veils, sparking a connection that neither could ignore. This wasn't just a fleeting attraction, it was a deep intellectual and emotional bond. But how could they possibly be together? A high-ranking British official marrying a Muslim noblewoman? It was unthinkable. For the British, it was a betrayal of duty. For the Hyderabadi court, it was a breach of honor and tradition. The obstacles were monumental. Khair-un-Nissa's family was fiercely protective, and Kirkpatrick's superiors in the East India Company were deeply suspicious of anyone who went native. Their love was a political minefield, yet they were determined. Kirkpatrick knew that to win her hand, he had to do something unprecedented. He began a secret correspondence with her mother and grandmother, pleading his case not as a conqueror, but as a suitor willing to embrace their world. He even went so far as to secretly convert to Islam, a monumental step that demonstrated his commitment. This wasn't a political maneuver. It was a declaration of love, a promise to honor her faith and her family. And so, under the cloak of night, a secret ceremony took place. This wasn't a grand public affair, but an intimate, deeply personal union held according to Islamic law. Imagine the scene, a hidden corner of a palace garden, illuminated by flickering lamps. James, now known by his Muslim name, Hashmat Jung, or Glorious in Battle, and Khair-un-Nissa exchanged their vows. The ceremony was a beautiful blend of cultures. He was a British officer, she a Mughal noblewoman, and in that moment, they created their own world, a sanctuary where their love could exist without judgment. The Nizam of Hyderabad, the ruler of the state, was eventually informed. While he was fond of Kirkpatrick, the marriage was a delicate matter. He gave his tacit approval but insisted on one condition: absolute secrecy. The union had to remain a whisper, a rumor, a ghost in the halls of power. Any public acknowledgement could trigger a political firestorm, jeopardizing the fragile balance between Hyderabad and the increasingly powerful East India Company. For a time, their secret held, Kirkpatrick built a magnificent residence, the Rang Mahal, where they lived together. This wasn't just a house, it was a symbol of their life together. It featured a zanana for Khair-un-Nissa and her retinue, respecting her customs, while also having spaces for Kirkpatrick to conduct his official British duties. They had two children, a son named Sahib Alam and a daughter named Sahib Begum. In their private world, they were a family, bridging the cultural divide with love and respect. Their home was a microcosm of their marriage. Inside, Mughal and British traditions coexisted. They celebrated Eid and Christmas. Khair-un-Nissa, though living in the Zenana, was a powerful influence on James, advising him and sharing in his life in a way that was unheard of for women of her time. They were partners in every sense of the word, their loyalty to each other absolute, but the walls of their sanctuary were not impenetrable. The whispers of their secret life eventually reached the ears of the East India Company in Calcutta. Governor-General Lord Wellesley, a staunch imperialist, was furious. He saw Kirkpatrick's marriage not as a private matter of the heart, but as an act of political insubordination. How could the British resident, the very embodiment of company power in Hyderabad, be so deeply entangled with the local court? To Wellesley, Kirkpatrick had crossed the line. He had compromised his loyalty and, in their eyes, his very breath. The political danger that had been looming on the horizon had finally arrived. An investigation was launched. Kirkpatrick was accused of scandalous behavior, of betraying the company, of becoming more native than the natives themselves. The pressure was immense. He was ordered to send his family away, to sever the ties that defined his existence. The very foundation of his life, the love for which he had risked everything, was now being used as a weapon against him. Torn between his duty and his heart, Kirkpatrick was forced to make an impossible choice. He was summoned to Calcutta to answer for his actions, leaving his beloved Khair-un-Nissa and their children behind in Hyderabad. The separation was agonizing. The man who had once been the master of his own destiny was now a pawn in a larger imperial game. The secret that had been their greatest treasure had become their heaviest burden. Tragically, James Kirkpatrick would never see his family again. He fell ill in Calcutta and died in 1805. A man broken by the conflict between his heart and the empire he served. Khair-un-Nissa was left a widow, her world shattered. Their children were eventually sent to England to be raised as Christians, their names anglicized to William and Catherine. They were separated from their mother, their culture, and their heritage. A heartbreaking final chapter to a love story that had dared to dream of a different world. The story of James Kirkpatrick and Khair-un-Nissa is more than just a historical romance. It's a poignant reminder of a time when cultural fusion was possible, even within the rigid structures of empire. Their love story, hidden for so long, reveals the human cost of political ambition and the enduring power of a connection that transcended borders, religions, and empires. Their secret wedding in Hyderabad was a brief, beautiful defiance against the tides of history. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please give this video a like and subscribe for more hidden histories. Let me know in the comments what you think about this incredible story. See you next time.